to the Rico No Suave show. We are bringing you a fun-filled show tonight with a great guest. So get ready, mi gente. Now, here is your talk show host, Rico No Suave. Dale.
You know it's time. Because your boy's back. Rico No Suave. Let's go. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Man, I tell you, I am super happy to be back with each and every one of you guys. And you know, we kind of missed you last week. And whenever I miss you, I always miss you. Pero bienvenido a todos, mi gente. You already know. We are here together. Estamos juntos, ya tú sabes, for another great show. Man, I got a fun-filled packed show for you guys today, and I'm super happy to actually be back with everyone. But let's get this party started. If you're waving at the TV, hello, how are you? If you're in the chat room, go ahead and chat and say hello. Hola. Hey, I got somebody in there saying Dale already. This is what I love, everybody, but let's get it on. Everybody, we have something that everybody looks forward to when it comes to football, and we're talking about the World Cup. The World Cup, everybody. Man, I tell you, the World Cup is the bomb. I tell you, 2026 is a better year because, one of the craziest things that I love about the World Cup is how people are coming from the European countries and also from all over to basically come to America. Man, when I tell you that people are coming in from, the World Cup and everything, it's just crazy. It's crazy. We had some people that was actually going into Walmart and they never been into a big store like this before. And they was like, oh my God, I can't believe there's so many aisles of the same thing almost. And it was just going crazy. People went into Costco. People were going to Costco and they was like, oh my God, I can't believe that Costco was this big. They didn't know that you can actually get, somebody pulled out pumpkin pie. I'm like, man, I don't like pumpkin pie, but I'm just saying though, but they had pumpkin pie and I was like, oh man, they were going crazy. I want to say welcome everybody from internationally to the U.S., to the United States, because the World Cup is bringing everybody together. Let's go. All right, everybody. This gentleman here, big shout out to Beverly Pomerantz. Love her. But this gentleman here, I have grown to know just a little bit of just by talking to him. And when I tell you, when you have a two-time Olympian, when you have an actor, when you have a producer, and also a writer, to be able to come onto the show, he has done so many great things within his life as well, from inspiration to be able to speak into people, but also the inspiration is the biggest thing ever, because this guy has words to be able to encourage people, but also he has a lot of producing to be able to show you his talent. I want you guys to put your hands together for my buddy, mi pana, Jamie Nieto. Let's go. Yeah. Jamie, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you, Rico?
Man, it's good to have you on the show, and we need to make sure that you can see me as well, too, because, our producer's like, yeah, we want to put on a big screen. Nobody want to see you, Rico No Suave. Hey, I see you now. Jamie Nieto, welcome to the show, man. It's good to have you here on the show as well. So I'm ecstatic to actually have you here, man. Are you ready to have a good time?
Yes.
Let's get it on, baby. Let's get it on. Before we get started, hey, I like to have people give people shout outs, people that, that encourage them or maybe inspired them. Do you have any shout outs that you want to give out to anybody?
Man, first of all, shout out to God, big shout out to God, you know what I mean? Without
Yes, sir.
him, I wouldn't be here and none of this would be happening. Definitely want to shout out, my mentor, Joe Redan, who started me, really having a love and a passion for high jumping. in track and field. And then obviously my coach, Clifford Velto, he was an amazing influence on my life as well, getting me to the next level of the Olympics and everything like that. And then, last but not least, my wife, my rock, who's been there from, beginning to to now, and has been, holding me down and holding me up, when I
Yes,
couldn't even
sir.
hold myself up, you know what I mean? So, yeah,
What's your wife's
those are my
name?
shout outs. Siobhan, she's also a two-time Olympian.
Siobhan. She's also a
Siobhan
two-time Olympian
Nieto.
as well?
Yeah, yeah, she
Let's
went to the Olympics
go,
for
man.
Jamaica.
Let's go, Siobhan. Let's get it on. I love this. Man, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Man, congratulations to you both, man. Congratulations to you both. That is
Thank
awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, it's about to go down. I feel like
you.
Siobhan is part of the show now. Now I feel like I got 4-time the Olympian on my show now.
Right.
Let's get it on. All right, here's the first question. Question number 1. At what point of time in your life that you decided to become a high jumper as an athlete?
Yeah, so that happened when I was in high school. My freshman year, I didn't do any sports. And then my sophomore year, I wanted to do sports, but it just kind of came out a little late. And so sophomore year, I was like, I'm going to do 3 sports this year. I'm going to do basketball and football and baseball. Well, I did basketball. I had a lot of fun with that. And that really was my first time with organized sports. And then I did football that year as well. And then I went for baseball, and I just felt a little tired. And I just felt like maybe baseball's not for me. So I rested after that. And then my junior year, I came back, and I didn't want to do football anymore. And I wanted to do basketball again. But the way it worked at my school was if you had a bad grade as a junior, they were going to cut you until the next year. Like if you were a senior and you had a bad grade, you could stay. So I had a D in geometry. And so I was kind of upset about that because I really wanted to play basketball. And by the time I got my grade up, it was going to be too late. So a friend of mine said, "Hey, why don't you come out for track and field?" And I was like, "No, I don't like running." And so he was like, "No, you can do the high jump. You can do the long jump, triple jump, something else, and work on your jumping ability. And then come back next year and you'll be dunking on everybody." And I was like, "The high jump, huh? That sounds good. I'm going to try that." So I tried it, and I tried all those other events as well. And I just kind of fell in love with the high jump. It took me to a bunch of different places, that I had never been to with basketball. And that year, me and 2 girls made it to the state meet, the California state meet. So to me, my friend had been running track all his life. So I'm like, how did I make it farther than you? You've been running track forever. And so it kind of gave me that little bit of a spark to say maybe I have a little bit of a talent in this. And then that's kind of where the whole journey started.
Wow, man, that's super cool, bro. That is super cool. Because I play basketball as well too, but my jumping skills, I had to work on it, right? But to be able to be a high jumper, I appreciate the guys who's able to do it and dunk over me. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like, this is like, man, man, dude, you guys have worked really hard to be able to get that. And sometimes it's just natural. So when you decided to become, as far as being able to test all of those and then start saying, hey, I want to become a high jumper, what was it like as far as with training, with knowing that if you're going to be a high jumper, to be able to know how you can actually continue to thrive and transition to the next level, the next level, and next level? What was that training like with you and your trainer?
it took time. It wasn't something that I got right away. I wasn't the best. My first year I had jumped 6'4", and I made it to the state meet, but there was
Okay.
guys there who were jumping like 7'2", 7'3". So
Wow.
I was really almost a foot below them.
Yeah.
And but I had a love for it and a drive, a passion, and
Yeah.
that's what helped me to rise up throughout the ranks and stuff. But a lot of hard work and training went into it. So the next year, you know, did a little better, and the next year did a little better, and just kind of kept trying to improve every year. And so, what does that training entail? We're
Yeah.
talking about plyometrics. We're talking about running. We're talking about weight training and those kind of things. So a lot of the
Yeah.
same stuff that most athletes do.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving this. And, when I look at it and when I see it, I like football, but I see when they do the jump, when they actually, I guess where the sand is before, they get into the sand piece and see how far that they actually jump. And I'm like, man, that is super cool. And then when I look at the high jumpers, like yourself and seeing exactly where, you have to bend a certain way to make sure that you don't touch that pole, and make that over. I think that's super awesome, man, to be able to see that. So, man, congratulations. When it comes to you traveling and being
Yeah.
able to compete, you have the culture piece of going into either another country or you're going to another state or wherever
Yeah.
that you're competing. What was kind of some of the surreal moments knowing that you're an Olympian and now you're actually kind of traveling and competing in different cultures? What are some of the cultures or maybe some of the countries that you've been to that was amazing that you probably been to for the first time?
Yeah, yeah. No, I've been fortunate and blessed to have traveled around the world. I think I've been to over 45 different countries. And
Wow.
yeah, and I started traveling before I made the Olympic team, but after, continued to do that after I made the Olympic team as well. So, but yeah, one of my favorite spots, I mean, one of my favorite spots is Monaco. I thought Monaco was amazing. Monte Carlo.
Nice.
Just the ambiance, the beauty, the opulence, the ostentatiousness of everything. It's just like crazy. You see like Ferraris and Lamborghinis just driving around like it's no big deal. So I always thought that was really cool.
Wow.
And then like the hotel that we stayed in, you can see a view of the water there, and it's just like $1 million yacht after $1 million yacht. That one over there has a helicopter on it. That one over there has 3 levels. Like it's amazing. And the people were nice, and most of them didn't really speak English. They spoke French. But I did get a chance to meet the Prince of Monaco, who was a nice guy as
Nice.
well. And where else? Brazil was great. I
Oh,
loved
yeah.
going to Rio. I got a chance to do some touring down there. I saw uh, Christ the Redeemer and the Sugar Loaf and all that stuff. Um, and yeah, man, Jamaica was great. I love the food in Jamaica. Sweden
That's
was
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, yeah. So I've been all over. There's only a few places that I really haven't been. Like I hadn't been to India, the Middle East, I should say,
Okay.
and Australia. But most of everywhere else I've kind of been.
Wow. I
Yeah,
think, when you're going to different countries and you're knowing about maybe where you're going into, right? And you might know as far as, how they may react to you. But when you became this Olympian, and I want to talk about the medal that, because sometimes when they say you're a two-time Olympian, sometimes people don't understand that. But for my audience purposes, I think of it as a champion, right? A two-time Olympic
yeah,
champion. I always think about that because I know that you worked hard to be able to get to that level and to be able to get that medal. Now,
right.
talk to me about the medal part when you're becoming an Olympian as far as high jumper. What was
Yeah.
that like for you? And then how was that transitioning into the second time as far as getting a medal? Tell the audience about that.
Okay, so in 2000, I went out for the Olympic team, and I missed the Olympic team. I was fifth at the Olympic trials,
Okay.
and the Olympic trials was in Sacramento, which is my hometown. And
Okay.
so I was a little bummed about that, but I was fortunate enough and knew that in 2004 the Olympic trials were going to come back to Sacramento. So I trained and ended up actually moving to San Diego to the Olympic Training Center, and came back, and I felt really ready in 2004. And it just kind of it was a build up because 2003, I started jumping really well, and then I just kind of kept it going through 2004. And then when I made the Olympic team there, to this day, that was my highlight of my career, was making the Olympic team in 2004 in Sacramento in front of my friends and family and home crowd. And the energy there was just, it was amazing to win the Olympic trials in Sacramento. Like it was amazing. I remember
Wow.
a athlete when the high jumpers, they a lot of times we get the crowd to clap, and
Yeah.
as we're getting ready to go. And this guy, I had the crowd clap, and some people clap. And then it was my turn, and I like looked at the crowd to get them to clap, and the sound was deafening. I was like, "Yo, like where did this energy come from?" And I've only seen that really two other times at just a little bit higher level. And the other two times was when I was in Greece. There was a Greek girl who was running the 400 hurdles, and she was winning, and the stadium was just like deafening. It was crazy. So I would say that would be the next level. And then when I went to Dominican, there was an athlete named Felix Sanchez, and when he walked out onto the track, like the crowd went crazy because we were in Dominican. I believe it was Dominican where he's from, but yes. So there was only those two times, other than my actual time when I got the crowd to clap for me, and that was amazing. So making that first Olympic team there in front of my friends and family and home, and just getting that hometown love was amazing. And then 2008, I came back and tried for the trials again, and I missed making the Olympic team in 2008 due to a new rule that they instated. So before there's two criteria to make Olympic team. You got to place in the top 3 at the Olympic trials, and then the other criteria is to get the minimum A standard. And usually up to this point, you could chase the A standard for about a month after the Olympic trials. And so in June, like a month before the trials in 2008, they sent out an email that says, "Hey, if you don't have the standard by the trials, it doesn't matter what place you get, you're not going." So that kind of put a damper on me, because it's like, that's not a lot of time to really, get this standard, which I didn't have at the time. So I go to the trials. I got second, which was one of the criteria. And then literally 6 days later, I end up jumping the Olympic A standard.
Wow.
So I ended up doing an arbitration and fought my case, but I ended up not winning in the long run, which was devastating. But at that point in time, I was dating this girl in England, and I was like, you know what? Since I'm here for the summer, let me take an acting class while Olympics are going on. And that's what I did. And so that's kind of the story of how my acting got started. And then 4 years later, 2012, I had some up and down years, and 2011 got a little bit better. And then 2012, it was just kind of like, I feel like I'm at the end of my career, and it's all or nothing. And I'm 35 years old now, and to make an Olympic team is like slim chance to none. I felt like I really felt like I had like a 50-50, chance to make the Olympic team in 2012 when the year first started. And then I kind of changed my mindset and the way I was thinking about things, and started opening myself up to other possibilities of, why is this not possible? If I'm in great shape, if I feel good and I'm ready to go, why can't I jump this Olympic A standard any day? Because again, that was the criteria. I got to place in top 3, and then I also got to have the A standard. And so that year I went to 13 meets that I tried for the A standard, and literally 2 weeks before the Olympic trials, I jumped the Olympic A standard.
Let's
so
go.
That was like, I was so happy. And it was in New York. And like people were going crazy, and I was going crazy. And I knew at that point in time that my chances would raise from 50% to about 90%. Because I knew when I got to the Olympic trials, I'm championship mode. I'm ready to go. So 2 weeks later, it comes around. I get to the trials, and there was other guys there. So I jumped 7.7, which was the A standard. There was a guy there who jumped 7.8, and another guy who jumped 7.9.
Wow.
So for me to win it, jumping against these people who were 10, 11, 12 years younger than me, again, just doesn't seem like a possibility. But I had God in my life, and I had a strong faith, and I had been putting in the work, and I got there, and thank God I ended up winning another Olympic trials, beating all those people. Yeah, and I became the first and the oldest American male high jumper to make an Olympic team. So so that's and it was another great. That was probably the second best moment in my career. And the crazy thing is, I'm telling you about the trials. I'm not even telling you about the Olympic Games.
Right.
The Olympic Games was another monster within itself. Like the opening ceremonies and stuff like that. The energy was amazing. The people there were all great, and it's just like a lot of fun. And I had a blast. So in 2004, I placed 4th at the Olympic Games. And then in 2012, my second time, I ended up placing unofficially third, officially
Unofficially?
fifth. Unofficially third, officially fifth. Go ahead and ask me,
Wow.
Rico. Go ahead, ask me, Rico. Go ahead. I know it's on your mind. Go ahead, ask me.
How can you become unofficial on third and then place at fifth?
Right. That's a great question, Rico. That's a great question. I never would have thought you would ask me that, but I'm glad you did. So that year, one guy jumped 7'7" 3/4", and he won the Olympics. Other than that, prior to that, there was another guy who jumped 7'8", but he got banned. So he ends up getting his medal got taken away, and it went down to the second place person. So the second place person now is first. He jumped 7'7" 3/4". Second place was a three-way tie at 7'6". And then I was the next person down, who also jumped 7'6". So would that put me at fifth, or would that put me at third?
I feel that it would put you at, you said at the third place, it was 7'6", right?
So first place jumped 7'7" 3/4". Second place, there was a three-way tie for 7'6". Right. And then the next person down was me at 7'6". And so the way they do it, if we all jump 7'6", who did it on their first attempt, who did it on their second attempt, who did it on their third attempt, right? So the guys who got second, they all jumped 7'6" on their first attempt, and I jumped 7'6" on my second attempt. So that makes me the next person down.
Right.
So what would you say?
I think that would be fourth, was it?
If first place was 7'7", and then you got a three-way tie at second, and then I'm the next person down.
Fourth.
What place would that be?
I would think fourth. Well, it would be fifth. Jesus, am I not counting it right? Yeah, I think that I think that would be yeah, but if it was the third, first, second, third, yeah, it would be fifth.
Just because of the three-way tie at second.
I don't like that.
But literally, there's nobody at third and there's nobody at fourth.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, like, if you went and watched the medal ceremonies, you would see one person on the first place podium. You would see three people on the second place podium and nobody on the third place podium. But so I say officially, I'm fifth, but unofficially, I was actually the third place.
On the third. I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's kind of like a four-way tie. You know what I mean? Like it don't even feel right? It was like, man, I'm not part of that group. You know what I mean? Like it's, but okay.
The nature of the sport.
Yeah, it's the nature of the sport. Okay. Man, this is awesome, man. We're almost close to the break itself. Man, we got 2 more minutes until we take this commercial break. But, man, thank you so much for actually being here, guys. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying yourself. You already know we got the 2-time Olympian actor, writer, producer, my man, Jamie Nieto. He, one of the users, one of the people that's chatting in, John T for free, he said, yeah, that's crazy. He's like, that's a crazy situation.
Right.
And Donna Marie Bird checking in. Hello, Donna Marie Bird checking in. Smart Girl 11114 is checking in. Everybody, welcome to the show. Man, I'm super happy to actually have my man Jamie Nieto here. Man, we having such a great time, and time is flying by fast because it's not on our side. Everybody want to take a quick commercial break, but we're going to get into the transition because we talked about the entertainment industry. So we want to show the trailer for Recall. So after you see the commercial break, we're going to go right into that trailer, and we're going to start talking about some filming, everybody. All right, everybody, sit back, relax. We'll see you back right after the commercial break. Let's go.
Every year, 800,000 children are reported missing. That's one child every 40 seconds. It's every parent's worst nightmare. Right now, there are 483 missing children cases still open. Your card donation can help keep kids safe and bring missing kids home. Donate your unwanted card today. Fast, free pickup, 24-hour response. Plus, you'll get the maximum tax deduction.
Call 800-723-2013.
We designed 2 types of calling protocols, the machine and the psionic. But the psionic one, that's human. Pure focus. When we use both, we always get a response.
Haven't we done this like 400 times already? They're either ghosting us or laughing their asses off. What happens if they actually show up?
Maybe they can...
Get you out of that chair.
People used to look up to him. Now, they just look away. Deploying signal. Yeah, well, I think these ghosts got something to say. I need you. I need you to help me. You can heal me, right?
Back. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Jamie, there's so much to talk about. You know, I'm really amazed as far as you being an athlete. That's number one. And congratulations on everything you've done from a culture standpoint, as well as just being an athlete and also showing them young guys how to really do it, and go from there. That's what it's about, Let's get into what we love also. You have so many different talents, but we just saw, of course, a trailer of Recall. But let's talk about, the transition into the entertainment. You kind of touched on that a little bit with being able to say, hey, let's go into acting. But going into the entertainment industry with film and television, what made you decide to go into that field? And then let's talk a little bit about the synopsis of Recall.
Okay, yeah. So, like I said, in 2008, I missed out on making the Olympic team, and I decided to take an acting class, and I literally just, fell in love with it. Something kind of I wanted to do all my life, but was afraid to tell people that's what I wanted to do until I made the Olympic team, and I was like, you know what, I can do whatever I want. I've had people tell me that I would never make an Olympic team before, so who cares if anybody tries to discourage me from being an actor? So, 2008 came around, started thinking like, well, what am I going to do after the sport? And that's what, again, made me want to take the class. And I literally was in class ever since. Like, I took classes all the way probably till about 2015. Wow. And it was a lot of fun for me. Did auditioning, and we learned a lot. Stella Adler, Meisner, Lee Strasberg. I learned all those techniques. And then I retired in 2013. And moved to LA with my girlfriend and started pursuing acting, writing, producing, but was coaching as well on the side. And eventually got a job at USC being a track coach. And I enjoyed it, but it was really stressful. And I just kind of felt like this is not what I wanted to do, overall. I really wanted to do more acting, writing, and producing. And then in 2016, I was working with some post-collegiate athletes that are trying to make it to that next level, trying to make it to the Olympics. And we were doing some drills, and I was still keeping in shape. And after every one of my competitions, a lot of times I would do a backflip and just wave to the crowd in a celebration. And so this one particular day, we were doing drills, and I did a backflip, and I was telling a friend of mine, like, yeah, I can still do a backflip, no big deal. And so I was like, let me try one more. And so I was kind of bouncing, and I was on this AstroTurf, and I pushed up. And as I pushed up, my foot slipped, and I was like, oh, that wasn't right. And I went from my feet to my head, and then my legs toppled over me. And from there, I was paralyzed from the chest down. And I heard this voice that said, don't worry, you'll be okay. You just got to go through this. And then I just started seeing my life kind of flash before my eyes. And I was like, oh, no, like, am I paralyzed? Please, God, only me be paralyzed. And so all these thoughts and, things started coming into my mind. And long story short, I went to the doctors. They said the disc in my neck had slipped and bruised the spinal cord, and they needed to do surgery right away. And so they fused C3 and C4 into place and put the disc back into place. And then it was just kind of a waiting game on coming back. And I know this is not particularly, but I'm going to round it back to the entertainment industry because I think this is important to know. So I had been acting before that a little bit, and I literally had I had a meeting with this theatrical agency called KMR 2 weeks before I got injured. And then I went into the hospital, and I was there for like 2 months and rehab. And the doctor told me, maybe you'll get 30% functionality back. They don't know, and I'm like, well, what does that mean? Feeding myself? Like, and they said that maybe you could feed yourself one day. And so that was, life changing. And my girlfriend at the time, she she was competing, trying to make it to the next 2016 Olympic team, and she just retired and decided, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to stay home and take care of you. And as things kind of were progressing, I was already thinking about marrying her that year, but I was waiting for after the Olympics, so I was saving up some money. And when I got injured, I was just like thinking like tomorrow is not promised, and so I proposed to her in the hospital, and she said no. And she said, let's get you out first and get you back on your feet, And I was like, okay. And then, like I said, 2 months later, after I kind of got out and I started working hard, again, and then that October, I ended up proposing to her again, and she said yes. And so we went and looked for rings. And then my goal was just to kind of walk her down the aisle. And so, like, I did a bunch of rehab, and I went from barely taking 3 steps to taking 6 steps to taking 12 and so on and so forth. And literally I trained from like January to July. So it was like another Olympic kind of training session. Wow. And she said, I think it'll take about 150 steps to get out of the church. And so when I finally did that in June, I'm almost done, Bubs. Sorry, my kids. But yeah, so she said, I think it'll take about 150 steps. So June came around. We got married in July. I did the 150 steps. She said, okay, great. Now do 200 steps. I was like, no. So by the time July came around, I ended up doing 206 steps on my own, which was amazing. To this day, this is 10 years later. The what? A tree? Afterwards, Bubs. Afterwards, okay? Here, take this. You can go play with that. Okay. So kids. Yeah, I did the 206. Hold on 1 second. Sure. You guys share, okay? Make sure you're sharing, guys. So I warned you.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I ended up taking 206 steps and walking down the aisle. And to this day, 10 years later, I still use a wheelchair, and I still use forearm crutches to get around. Okay. I'm working on rehabbing and still getting back on my feet. Right. But since then, as I was in the rehab facility, so I'm bringing it back around now, I was training one day, and I was thinking like talking to somebody about some rehab, and then this guy came in this wheelchair, and he was like, oh yeah, I just booked this commercial and this, that, and whatever. I was like, you're acting? And he was like, yeah. I was like, well, what agency are you with? And he said, KMR. And I was like, oh, wow. What? Yeah. So I was like, maybe this is a sign for me that, I still like to do it, even though I'm injured, I still try to act. And so I was like, let me, send him a message. So I sent him a message and said, hey, this is what happened. This is almost a year later now. I know I had that meeting, but I got injured. And so they were like, yeah, come on in. And I talked to them. They had a whole diversity division. So they signed me, and I was just like ecstatic. And so I started getting all these great auditions, like bigger auditions that I got before I was even injured. And then eventually I had booked a TV show called Away, starring Hilary Swank and Josh Charles. It's on Netflix now. It's a sci-fi about people going to Mars and stuff. Okay. And so I did 3 episodes of that. So I was a recurring actor on that. And then maybe a year or 2 later, I ended up booking Power, Raising Kanan. So I don't know if any of your fans out there are fans of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. I was on 5 episodes of that. I did 2 in season 2, and then I did 3 episodes in season 3. And I think I was a little bit of a fan favorite because I was one of the people who helped to save Uncle Marv's lives. So if you're a fan, you'll know who Uncle Marv is. But,
yeah, nice.
But so I played this character called Demo, a guy in a wheelchair who ends up kind of like saving the day at the end of the day. And then I just recently did a Criminal Minds, the episode on Criminal Minds. Yeah. But this industry is one of those industries that you got to just kind of keep doing your own stuff and keep creating opportunities for yourself. So I did the short film, which I'm like, I wish you would have told me. I didn't realize that this was a horizontal format, I could have gave you the horizontal as opposed to the vertical format. So
Our
I was
producers
like,
was just talking. We were just talking about that.
I could have gave you the horizontal, but yeah, no worries.
No worries.
So I did the short film last year, and we'll put it
Okay.
on the film festival circuit this year. And it's called Recall. It's about a disabled veteran who reaches to the stars and sends out signals to try to get aliens to come and heal him to make him whole again. And the answer he gets back is something that he would have never imagined. So that's the log line for the show. We just got into the Hip Hop Film Festival, which is in New York. Also, we got into the LA Short Film Festival, International Film Festival, which is another huge film festival.
Yeah,
I'm really
it
excited
is.
about that. Yeah, and so, God willing, it does well there. We got into the finals in Stage 32 film contest. So it's coming along. It's like, it's not all like peaches and cream. Like, we didn't get into every film festival that we submitted to, but we're starting to get into more, and there's a lot more throughout the rest of the year. So, hopefully if it comes to your town, make sure you guys go and check it out. It's called Recall, and you just saw the trailer. So, yeah.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Jamie Nieto, I'm all choked up. One of the things is that I'm very proud of you, number one. And also, you never stop. The one thing that I am getting a lot of inspiration from, and even in the chat as well, too, and they're saying that Recall looks super intriguing as well. So thank you, Donna Rebirth, for that. There's two steps to this when it comes to how you're actually inspiring people, I should say. When you actually said that you were actually walking down the aisle, that was your therapy to fame, I should say, because you had a lot of love of being able to not give up. And I think to that piece is being able to say, you know what, whatever the doctor said, I'm going to still try and I'm going to still move forward to be able to get that. And blessings to you that you still had the mindset to be able to want to live still, because a lot of people don't have that. They get so depressed that they just say, why am I living? Why am I here? And they don't see the purpose of what they can actually become. Right. And for yourself, you actually took that and said, hey, you know what? I'm not giving up. Even though you said, hey, you had somebody to be able to love or, love forever. That person never gave up on you as well. And then you took it to the industry of film, where you were actually getting more films than if you was not in this situation. Right. And I think that's just a blessing of, from God to be able to say, hey, you know what? We're going to use you in the right way, right? We're going to use you to inspire you for you to be able to get to where you need to be able to get to. And I think, you have a beautiful family and they support you. I know the kids, right? The kids, we love the kids, right? Yeah. And they love Papa. And I think by you continually being that role model for them, and them seeing, that, you're just not an Olympian, but you're also, Papa, that actually shows you, hey, you can do this when you grow up as well, too. Takes it a long way, man. So I'm really definitely proud of you. And, it's always continued success. How long did it take for you to do Recall?
We shot Recall in, I think it was 3 days. So
wow.
The Recall, it's only 11 minutes long. So it's not a full feature film. Yeah, it's just a short film. So, yeah. Sometimes
it takes for some of those films to actually take longer than that. Like, I mean, even if it's only 11 minutes, I've been to short film festivals and, doing red carpets and ask them how long will it take. Sometimes they say, man, 2 weeks. I guess it just depends on the locations. I guess it depends on, the strategy, the floor plan, and the layout of what you want to actually do. But just by me looking at that and seeing where you guys are at and what you're doing, I see, for me, I just see, I don't want to say Total Recall. I want to say like it was kind of that sci-fi. I felt that little sci-fi that was in there as well too. So, but people got to watch it. They got to watch this. as well too. So we're gonna take another quick commercial break, man. Time is flying by fast. Jamie Nieto, the two-time Olympian. He is an actor, writer, and also producer. Everybody, we're gonna be right back. Give you 15 seconds. We'll see you then. Let's go.
Feeling sluggish? Struggling with stubborn weight and visceral fat? It's time to reset with Fupa Water. Packed with powerhouse ingredients like spirulina, turmeric, and aloe vera, Fupa Water is your daily detox and hydration boost all in one. Flush out toxins, energize your body, and say goodbye to that stubborn belly fat. Ready to feel lighter and stronger? Get yours today at fupawater.com. And for a limited time, use code RNSS for the Rico No Suave show and get an additional 10% off.
Welcome back. Welcome back, man. There's so much more to talk about in regards to you as a great person that's doing really great things out there. Hey, are you having a good time?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kind of losing your hearing. Yeah, I lost you. I can't hear you. Can you still hear me? It's kind of crackling a little bit as you're speaking.
Can you hear me? Test 1, test 2.
Oh, there you go. I got you.
Okay.
Got you.
Awesome. Okay. Got you. Sorry about that.
Oh, you went out again.
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
All right, I hear you.
You hear me? Okay. Let's have my producers working in the back end there. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can keep this going. All right. Let me pull this closer. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can do this again. You're 10 in the world as a high jumper, but you're pursued acting, writing, and producing at the same time. How did the discipline of being an athlete shape you in a way approach your craft in Hollywood? It's a good question.
Yeah, no, that is a great question. We're talking about two different things. Like track and field is one of those things where it's like if you train hard, you work hard, you get the results. No matter what. Like it's all on you. Whereas acting, writing, and producing is so subjective. You know what I mean? It's like comparing track and field to gymnastics. Like, oh, that was a good flip. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It was okay. So that's what I'm dealing with now. Like before I worked hard, I got exactly what I worked for. Now I can work as hard as I want to, and it doesn't mean that it's going to come to fruition, that something great will come out of it. But I say that to say this is the hard work, the dedication. I enjoy the craft. So I got to look at it from a different perspective. Like, even though I am working hard to learn as much as I can about the craft and about writing and producing and stuff like that, I got to take joy I got to take joy within that, and then be able to use that later on. Because at some point in time, I think it's a numbers game. At some point in time, the cream will rise to the top, and at some point in time it'll happen. But even if it doesn't, it's okay. I mean, I did what I wanted to do, and I had fun doing it. So I think at the end of the day, too, maybe I keep saying at the end of the day, sorry, but yes. So like when you go back and you look and you say, did I do everything that I wanted to do, and do I have any regrets? I won't have any regrets. And what's that old saying? A person who loves their job never works a day in their life. So yeah, I'm okay with it.
Let's go. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. So, thank you guys so much for the chat.
When I do get that opportunity, I'm going to be ready. So, that too,
That's right. And we're going to be here to support you too. You know that, right? We here, man. We here. And one of the things is that when we talk about, all of that, but there's another piece of you that people don't know about is the writing piece. You're also a writer. So
Yeah.
tell the audience in regards to when was the writing piece involved in your journey?
Yeah. So when I first started acting, I also, like, my teacher was always like, "Hey, Hollywood might not be calling for you. Hollywood might not know what you really can do. So it'd be great to be a writer as well, to be able to write your own and produce your own stuff." So at
Right.
that point in time, that's when I started writing. So I wrote my first script in like 2008. I actually wrote that script before I took the class, but then when he said that, it encouraged me even more to say, "Okay, let me do more writing." And then in 2016, after I got injured, I I didn't have much else to do, so I wrote more. I had a lot of stories that I wanted to tell, so I really started working on my craft and getting better and better and better. And now, like 10 years later, I got scripts, man. I got like 11 original pilots that I've written. I
Wow.
have 4 screenplays. I'm planning on writing another one this year, and I got a slew of shorts that I put together, like
Wow.
recall. So yeah, it's fun, but I enjoy that as well, and it took me time to really learn the craft of writing, because screenplay writing is not normal. It's not
No.
normal. So
So is
yeah.
it coming to so when you're thinking about something and it comes to mind, is that when you just write it down and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna leave this," or is it something that you sit in a room and you be like, "I've been thinking about this. Let me see if I can feed off of what I really want to put down on this piece of paper."
Yeah, for me, I have a lot of ideas. So depending on how much of that idea is hitting me, that
Yeah.
I'm really like, yo, this is a really good one. I gotta write this one. If I get that feeling, then I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write as much as I can about that. And then later, it'll all like work its way out. It might not end the way I originally thought, but the core principle of the idea is going to be there,
Yeah.
and so and sometimes it takes time, like I'm telling you, I wrote that many scripts, but each script I've at least did 10 rewrites on each script, at least, some 20, some more, so like writing, they say, is rewriting. So the more you write, the better you get. I look at it like a sculpture. Like you put this sculpture up, and it's like kind of a little bit of a blob. You can kind of see what it is. It's a guy, and he's kind of standing here, like, and then as you go and rewrite, you're chipping away, and it's getting cleaner, it's getting cleaner, it's getting, oh, it's David. Oh, it's the statue of David. Oh, okay, I got it. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of
Yes.
how I see writing, is like, you're going to write something. It's not going to be good. People might not see it or get it, but you keep editing, you keep revising, because you're not going to be able to see everything. The only way you're going to be able to tell that is by letting other people read your writing. And so the more you
Right.
kind of chip away at it, it's going to form into something even cleaner than you could have ever imagined. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
like that. I like that. That's a good synopsis. I mean, very good synopsis in regards to, molding, right, and putting things together in order for
Mhm.
people to take a look at it. It's just like going through an art gallery. You go through the art gallery, and not everybody's going to understand the photo or the picture
Mhm.
or even abstract photos, or pictures itself. And they'll be like, "Man, what was that person thinking?" Right? Or,
Yeah.
"Oh, I see where they were going with that." It's kind of putting like 2 + 2 = 4, but sometimes somebody else look at 2 + 2 might equals 13, right? And they were like, "No, that's not what it was about." So
Right.
it's almost as if how they perceive it, right? How they look at it,
Mhm.
and it's only going to be a certain unique of an audience that you're going to attract with it, just, as far as with your screenwriting and your film as
Right.
well. And do you see yourself as a writer that thinks kind of like outside the box, or you more kind of like, because I know you kind of talked about sci-fi and also your guest star in Criminal Minds Evolution. Congratulations as well. When you're writing, is there a certain category that you kind of focus on, or is it kind of like, wherever I can actually have my mind go, I'm going to write about it?
A certain genre? Yes and no. So I kind of am interested in a lot of stuff. So, like, I got everything from sci-fi to a Civil War script to, a crime drama to a comedy. So, like, I do kind of jump around. Where's my strength?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I like them all. You know what I mean?
I
So,
see.
but the thing I do try to make sure I do within my scripts is make sure that I try to serve the underrepresented class of people who don't really get represented, like people with disabilities. So in most of my scripts, not that person with a disability is always the star or me, but there's going to be somebody within the script that does have a disability that does, identify as that, because 1 in 4 people in America have a disability, whether it be physical or mental. So
Sure.
I think, we need to really do our best to make sure we show that on TV. And so it's not like, so it's accurately representing what we see in real life on TV and in film.
Yeah, I like that. Man, we're down to the last few minutes of fame. I told you this is going to go by fast, man. This is, it's going to go by fast. And I know the kids love their papa, so I know we got to get you back to the kids. But man, it's great to have you on the show. And I do want to bring this up because you kind of been telling your story already, right? You kind of been telling your story in regards to you as an athlete and being able to travel and people being able to see your greatness. And then, of course, being able to be an actor and also going into kind of the same, school and training school and being able to reunite or hear about your school in the future and through someone else. And then you start, getting to the TV shows and just start molding yourself. Speaking of sculpture, right? Start molding yourself in regards to being able to be able to write and being universal. I would put that into play. But the one thing that you do is also public speaking as well, as if I'm not mistaken. You speak to people in regards to storytelling. Real quick on that. What is that like in regards to when people see or hear about your stories, if you're talking about yourself or if you're just talking about another story that maybe that has came within your journey? What has that been like?
It's been fine. Usually when I do public speaking, it's more about my story and how to overcome obstacles and those type of things. But I also use the Olympic aspect and how I overcame obstacles in there to also now overcome obstacles in my life here, dealing with disability and the things that I'm dealing with now. And even in, the entertainment industry and everything I'm doing, it's about really trying to have that Olympic mindset as opposed to, just a regular everyday mindset of negativity, being more optimistic, positive, keeping God first, those type of things. But then using the little tools that I use to be able to help me succeed at a higher level. Anybody can do that. Anybody can change their mind to do those type of things. So those are the things that I usually talk about when I'm doing public speaking. And it usually resonates with people because I'm relatable. I literally was at the top. And then after getting injured, being at the best physical athletic I could have been to being zero, to not having no muscle strength or no, control of my body, and working my way back up to being able to, do the things that I'm able to do now, play with my kids, get up out of bed, brush my teeth, feed myself, walk down the hall, those kind of things that we take for granted every day. So those are the things that I try to impute upon people is, don't take life for granted. Tomorrow's not promised. Your only limitation is what you believed in to be. So believe that you can be the best, right? Don't let whatever the cards that are dealt for you stop you. I could have stopped, like you said, once I got injured and I was, in a wheelchair, but I decided to play those cards and use that to my advantage. And, things have been working out. I've been very blessed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we're blessed to actually have you here, but we also want to show the blessing of your family. We got a photo of your family that we want to show everybody. Look at this. Come on, man. Come on. This is beautiful, man. This is a beautiful family you do have.
Thank you.
It looks like age 3.
Yeah. The one with my wife, he just turned 3 that day, and then the other one's 5. So
all right. What's the kids' names?
Jasha and Jalen.
Jasha and Jalen.
Yeah, Jasha's name was like an amalgamation of Jamie and Siobhan. So Siobhan.
All right.
Yeah. And actually, I thought I was making the name up, but I looked it up, and it means God's gift. So it was divine.
It's definitely a God's gift. I tell you that. It's definitely a God's gift itself. And, you know, speaking of gifts, you said the magic word. I have something for you. I have a shirt for you.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
sir. Yes, sir.
Nice.
One of the things that I love to give to my guests, or we call them gems of the world. Gems of the world is, you know, I really don't have to say too much because you basically show your inspiration, but also we're happy that you're here, right? I think that's one of the biggest things in regards to being able to go through your journey as far as what you've been doing from being an Olympian. And then, of course, when an injury happens, once again, you had the power to be able to, and discipline, to know that you were still on a mission, and the man upstairs kept you here with us. And being able to show you that it's not a disability, it's always an ability to be able to continue to live life. And you're showing that, right? You're making Recall, right? And then you're also in Criminal Minds Evolution. You're showing people that, hey, I can still do this no matter what, and being able to still use and walk whenever you actually are still going through therapy to be able to make that happen. So being able to be that gem of the world is being able to shine in front of others, of telling your story, but also seeing that, hey, you never gave up and you kept it going. So I want to say welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the Rico No Suave Show family, I should say. Nice. Welcome to the show, man. And you know, we're always here to support you, like always. Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Yes, sir. Hey, we're going to actually put up your social media. We're going to put up your social media because we want people to follow you. We want people to know more about you. So let's put up that first one. Yeah, it's Jamie Nieto, Oly. That's on Facebook, everybody. So make sure you guys please go and follow him there. If you tend to add him, don't spam him. Just say, hey, we saw you on Rico No Suave show. Here's the next one. X. I think that's formerly known as Twitter. Yes, Jamie Nieto. Yes, make sure you go and check him out. Posting all the time there. Here's the next one. Oh, yeah, Instagram. Jamie Nieto. Yeah, he's my friend. I follow him. He follows me back, too. So he was cool with doing that. So we're followers of each other. So make sure you go ahead and follow him as well. He's always putting some really great stuff out there. Here's the next one. Oh, yeah, TikTok. Yeah, you already know. There's videos, everybody. At Jamie Nieto _ Make sure you put that underscore there, OLY, right? Make sure you guys can check him out on TikTok. Last but not least, there is something called a website. Kaboom, JamieNieto.com. This is where everything all comes together, everybody. So make sure you please go ahead and check him out on his website, support him, and always continue to show that love for his greatness. Jamie, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure of you being on the show today, man. I had a great time with you as well.
Thank you, Rico. I appreciate you. And one last thing, I am doing a track and field camp in Pennsauken, New Jersey, July 11th and 12th. You can go to my Instagram page. I just posted about it. Again, it's at Jamie Nieto, at Jamie Nieto. Not on my website, but it's on my Instagram. Pennsauken High School, July 11th and 12th, New Jersey. Come see me.
Jersey, stand up. Stand up. Go and support him if you're in Jersey or in that area, New York. If you want to fly down there, just say, hey, I saw you on the Rico No Suave show and I had to come and see you. Make sure you go ahead and do that for my man. Jamie, you take care, man. Have a great day. You know there's always going to be a part 2 on this show because we're going to have you back because we want to see what other greatness that you're actually making out there in the world, man. So thank you so much for being on the show. Huh?
You got to have my wife. I appreciate you, but you got to have my wife. She's an amazing singer, and she was on America's Got Talent, and she's an actor as well. So, yes, that's another interview you need to have.
4-time Olympian.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say is 4 times, man.
Two.
Hey, hey, the 4-time Olympian. But Jamie, thank you so much. Yes, make sure you keep in touch with me as well, too. I'm going to keep in touch with you as always, man. But thank you so much, and you will definitely try to get her on the show as well, okay?
Sounds great. Thank
Everybody,
you,
put your hands together for none other than my man, Jamie Nieto. Let's go. Yeah. All right, everybody, we got to get out of here. Your boy Rico No Suave. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. We had such a great time as far as talking to my man Jamie Nieto, and hopefully you guys enjoyed yourself as well too. I tell you, it's all about inspiration. When we talk about inspiration, this is as much inspiration as you need. So we're going to put up our social media, everybody, our social media. Let's start off with that first one. Let's see what we got. It is the website. Yeah, go ahead. It's the website, thericonosuaveshow.com. Here's the next one, everybody. Kaboom, Rico No Suave Show on Facebook. Make sure you go there. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Go and follow us there. Here's the next one. Oh, yeah, it's Instagram. We got it, too. Rico No Suave Show. That's how I follow Jamie Nieto. Yeah, you can follow me, too. Let's go to the next one. Here we go. And do sabe, mi gente, this is, of course, it's all about the subscribers. Make sure you go and subscribe. Do it now. If you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe to Rico No Suave Show on YouTube. Last but not least, Mixcloud. Yeah, Mixcloud turns into kind of that podcast, that audio, right? So you can go ahead and drive along and listen to my man, me, and Jamie as we were actually talking about really great stuff. Mixcloud.com, Rico No Suave Show. Everybody, we got to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, man. Had such a great time with each and every one of you guys. Remember, I am always your talk show host, trying to give you the most of great guests on the show. I think I just rhymed with that. Little bars there. It was secret. But until next time, everybody, I'll see you guys as we end off the show just like this. Until we're ready to go. Maybe we're not ready to go. Maybe. All right, that's it. Okay. You didn't let the whole thing go either. So you're like, how did you get 4 on there? That's the first time. I'm like, how did he? And he was in the background still smiling. He's still there? Okay, cool. All right.
I'm still here. All right, Rico, you take it easy, man. Thanks again.
Daddy, are you done?